Howdy folks, thanks for clicking on this video. Now, if you haven't already, I would actually highly recommend going back and watching the video series titled Let's Talk About Transgender People. And I would actually highly recommend doing that before looking at this video here because it's going to cover a lot more just general content. And if you're just curious about what the deal is with transgender people, you're just jumping in, you don't really know anything about that, that's going to answer a lot of your questions, and this video here won't really make much sense without the context of that other video. So I know that you just got here and you just clicked on this video, but I think you'd be doing both of us a favor if you haven't already. Go back and check out the first video series. It's about 50 minutes long. That's the whole sum of it. You can watch it as one video or you can watch it as a bunch of little segments, all of which are conveniently linked in the description right below this video. So I'd highly recommend checking that out. Thank you very much. Now, assuming that you're just coming back from the video series titled Let's Talk About Transgender People, thank you so much for coming back. This video, of course, is about my experience getting top surgery. I am a transgender man. My name is Ernie. I'm currently 21 years old, and this has been an overwhelmingly positive experience. This video, it covers my journey trying to get access to top surgery, what that actual experience itself was like, and also what the recovery and healing process of getting top surgery was like. And I really want to stress how beneficial this process has been for me in this whole experience, and just how good I feel about myself because I feel and look like a man, which is how I've always wanted to feel and I've always wanted to look. And there's really been nothing else in my life that's this significant, as in just a complete light and dark, like night and day kind of transition from being so insecure and so unhappy with who I was compared to now after getting top surgery, just feeling so deeply good about who I am and so much more confident. And it's been really, really nice, and I'm excited for you guys to see that experience as well through this video. And I want to make that clear that it was a positive experience and that it does have a very nice happy ending, because in this video there are a lot of low points, because trying to get access to that kind of care for me has been very difficult. And particularly there's one incident later on in the video where I'm actually on the operating table and I'm about to get top surgery and I have that IVs plugged in and everything, and then they suddenly found out very last minute that I had some kind of medical complication that I don't want to get too far into, and they realized last minute that it wouldn't be safe for me to get surgery that day. And at the time, they also told me that they weren't totally sure that I would ever be able to get surgery. Of course, later they realized this was actually an error on their end, fortunately, and about just over a month later, I was able to finally get that surgery, which was so fantastic and changed my life for the better. But in that period of time, it was very difficult, and I did have some suicidal thoughts and really tough mental health issues. So I just want to mention that that is something that will be covered in this video. So if you are uncomfortable hearing about those kinds of topics, feel free to skip through that or watch a different video. That's totally okay. I just want to make you guys aware that that is also something that this video covers, because, you know, I want to show the truth of what my full experience was like, and that was part of it, just like all the really, really deeply good feelings was also part of it. Right here is a quick timeline that I made of all the steps for me for getting access to this care, and you feel free to screenshot that if you would like, just for reference. It's kind of cool. And here also is a list of advice that I've compiled throughout my experience getting top surgery. Once again, feel free to screenshot that if you would like. It's just a nice little summary. Also remember that this is a very serious medical procedure, and it's something that you should only do if you know absolutely for sure it is the right thing for you to do, and you are the only person who can make that decision about yourself. You deserve to feel good about yourself, however you need to do that, and only you know what it means to feel good about yourself. There was some footage that was unfortunately lost in the creation of this video, and particularly that footage talked about my experience when I was initially trying to get top surgery. I had scheduled it with a different surgeon that I ended up getting, and that surgeon, there wasn't a very long wait line, and I was very excited for that, of course. But then I discovered that this particular surgeon didn't have very good reviews and very good results, so I ended up making the difficult decision to go with a surgeon who had better reviews and better results, and of course this meant that this surgeon had a much longer waiting period to get initial consultations and eventually try to schedule surgery with. It was a lot more waiting, and I do think this was probably one of the hardest decisions that I ever had to make, and I still to this day I have no idea if I made the right decision, because it's kind of ironic too. I ended up still having some medical complications with the good surgeon who I went with before, so I'll never know if maybe that could have even been prevented with the other surgeon, or maybe it would have been way worse with the other surgeon. And of course, that waiting period was a very painful time, but maybe that wouldn't have been the case with the other surgeon. But at the end of the day, I was able to get this care, and my results are fantastic. I'm very thankful for the surgeon who I did end up going with. She's a wonderful experience, and I've definitely came to peace with the fact that I made that decision, and I feel really good about myself now. Another important clarification is that in some of the later clips, it kind of gives the impression that I wasn't immediately very happy with the surgery, but I was very happy. I think a point to clarify is that once I suddenly got that surgery and, I looked in the mirror and I saw a man for the first time instead of seeing a woman who wished that he could be a man. At least, that's how it felt like looking in the mirror, just for me, from my perspective. And seeing that, it was very sudden, and it was great in the sense that, like, oh, that's so much better that there's a guy here. But it was difficult because, I had spent 19 years trying to mentally disconnect with my body, because that, for me, it felt like it was a woman's body, which felt so wrong and so uncomfortable for me. And it was tough to then all of a sudden try to reconnect with the body once I finally had a body that I really liked and really felt comfortable in. It took a while to get that comfort back. And I think I want to make it clear that I was immediately happy with my surgery results. But it just wasn't a sense of, like, Hollywood style, super cinematic, like, joy. It was more just an instant sense of relief and a loss of a tremendous pain that was just a burden that I felt like I'd been carrying my entire life. And that's something that I am positive I could not have felt that good about myself and my body if I did not have this procedure. I also tried to edit out some of the personal identifying information in this video, so sorry if there's just a couple clips that have some floating white rectangles that are covering up that information in the background, but I don't think it distracts from the actual content of the video itself. So just so you know, that's what those are. In this video, I also talk a lot about the pain that I experience called gender dysphoria, which is being very uncomfortable with oneself and feeling disconnected from your body because of the gender that you are. And this is a difficult kind of pain because, most people have never experienced it. And that's wonderful. If this is something that's completely foreign to you, that's fantastic. I never want that to have to change for you. It's not a great pain. I wouldn't really recommend it. But it's difficult when you're talking about kinds of pain that other people haven't felt. And I think it's easy sometimes to forget that those are even kinds of pain, and that makes it hard for us to empathize with people who are experiencing pain that we haven't had before. And I think a helpful analogy about this is, I think we've all met some younger people who are pretty disrespectful to older people and the kinds of pain that you just naturally experience with age, like memory loss and joint pain and just, getting wrinkles and all sorts of normal natural things that are kinds of pain associated with getting old that younger people haven't experienced before, and they just don't really understand. And I think we can all agree that it's pretty disrespectful when younger people don't empathize at all with older people who are going through that pain, and younger people who don't even consider that to really be pain that those older people are experiencing. And younger people look at those older people and be like, the older people are just complaining too much. They're so annoying, because those younger people don't think to empathize with the pain that those older people are experiencing, because these younger people themselves haven't experienced that pain. pain, and they don't even recognize it as pain. And I think we can all agree that that's very disrespectful, and that's wrong to not recognize the pain that those people are going through and to not give it the respect and empathy that it deserves. And I think we can probably all agree that there's so many different kinds of pain out there, and hopefully no one will ever experience and understand all those different kinds of pain. But we can all agree as well that I think everyone deserves empathy for all their different kinds of pain that they're dealing with, because we all have all sorts of different kinds of pain that we're dealing with. And I hope that you guys can, whether or not you've actually experienced gender dysphoria and you know what that kind of pain is like, I hope that when you're watching this video, you can empathize a little bit with the pain that I'm experiencing, just because I say that I have experienced a lot of this pain, and now I don't really experience that kind of pain. And I'm sure you can maybe also relate to that experience of not experiencing pain anymore, and that wonderful feeling of that burden being lifted. So I think we can connect to the feeling of experiencing pain and the experience of not having pain anymore. I think that's really nice. You know, maybe you can carry that out to other aspects as well. For all sorts of people who are experiencing all sorts of pain, I think that they all deserve all sorts of empathy from all sorts of good people like you. I also say some stuff at the end of this video about how my biggest insecurities at that point are really just about losing weight, and I think that that's kind of funny looking back on it now, because I don't really think that way anymore. I was still very much focused on trying to get the kind of supermodel body type, and that, you know, with like zero body fat, and that just isn't healthy for anyone, it turns out. I didn't really know that when I was filming that part of the video, so now I am perfectly healthy and happy with how I want my body to look like, and I'm also just not really too worried about that kinds of things all the time. You know, I eat healthy just because I want to eat healthy, and I work out just because I think it's fun to work out, and I think that that's a much better way to feel good about myself, and that it just took me a little while to realize things like that. Now I'm gonna hand it right back off to the first clip. Is, I believe, my 18-year-old self just finishing up talking to my primary care provider about first trying to schedule top surgery. Enjoy.
Getting top surgery, and she said that she was going to send a letter to the surgeons that do that. Apparently there's 2 in the city where I live, who are like super good. So basically the timeline for that is going to depend on how busy those surgeons are. So it's not through this particular like doctor's office, it's through like something else kind of.
Recently, well, not just recently, for like about 6 months now, I've been scheduling top surgery, because obviously that's super cool. And you've probably heard that, you know, it's generally really difficult to get like an appointment. There's usually a gigantic wait, and I was expecting this, but well, basically, for the past 6 months, I've been reaching out to this particular clinic, which is a really good clinic. It's in my area, and there's just been a lot of instances where it's been like, all right, cool, we got your initial consultation, it's finally set, it's in 2 months from now. And I was like, fine, whatever, that's a wait. But then we get a week before then, and they're like, oh, sorry, we have to cancel this. You're gonna have to move your appointment to another 2 months from now. And I was like, well, there's absolutely nothing I can do. I don't want to be mean to this nice secretary on the phone here, so I'll be like, okie dokie, you got it, bro. And then it happens again. I think it happened like 2 or 3 times, literally that exact same thing, which probably to some extent is just luck, because getting the initial consultation shouldn't take that long. But bottom line is, I finally got the consultation, and I think I mentioned that before. That went great, and they said that in the next 2 weeks they would reach out to me and schedule the actual surgery appointment. And it had been 3 weeks, and I had kept calling them and they didn't respond, and then finally they did, and they were like, awesome, we finally got you an appointment, bro. It's in the end of August. That's pretty late. Because, dude, for me especially, I'm gonna be graduating high school this year, and I really wanted to leave high school like feeling good about myself. I mean, of course, I'm freaking awesome, but hey, I could be flat and freaking awesome too. And also, I'm gonna be working as a counselor at this really cool summer camp, and I really wanted to be able to, you know, do like swimming and stuff and other outdoor activities. I was really looking forward to be able to like take my shirt off and just go swimming with the other guys, and for it to be chill. And, I had been wishing for this for obviously years, but I had really been pushing for it for the last couple years after I came out. And the process, it just drags on a lot longer than even I expected. And dude, the minute like that news hit, it was like, I just felt so crushed because, obviously I'm very used to, at this point, having these big plans built up and have it being crushed again and again and again. It's happened with getting T, like the appointment, it's just back and back and back, and it's happened with the top surgery. And it's tough too because I don't even know if I feel comfortable getting my hopes up for this August date, because who knows, maybe it could be bumped up to November. Maybe something in the legal system could happen and I would have to go to Canada or something, because it's gnarly how much of this stuff is up in the air, dude. It's freaking crazy, man. But all I can do, I guess, is hope and deal with it. But yeah, I just wanted to say that because there are up points and there are down points, and that doesn't really end throughout the process. And I think I've mentioned this before. I feel like, because, my dysphoria has gone away in so many other ways. Like, look, my little mustache is kind of cool. It's not like a good mustache, but it's enough to be like, well, that's probably a man because a woman would shave that. Like, it's enough for that, and I'll friggin' take it. And like, dude, I'm getting like biceps and my voice is awesome, and my confidence is peaking. It's pretty sick. I'm vibing. But it's like, if you're cleaning a windshield and there's just like that one really big spot of dirt that you clean everything else around it, but that one thing, it just won't go away. And that, dude, for me, that's the top surgery. I gotta get that, man. It's gnarly. Yeah, right when that news hit, it was gnarly. I remember, is they said August, and I was like, oh my gosh, how long is that really? And I just remember counting on my fingers, like, it's February right now, so it's like February, March, April, May, June, July. It just, but every added month, there was just so much pain with that, because it's not just a month. Like, a month, first of all, it's a long time, and it's like, gosh dang, it's a lot of them. And, I know the kind of pain that I'm going to feel in those months because I've been feeling it for years. And every time I keep telling myself it's going to go away eventually, it's going to be worth it in the end. But every day there's still that, I'm waking up to this again. And there's so many awkward interactions where, misgendering and stuff that happens because I can't hide everything. I can try, but it doesn't always work. And it hurts so much still, even by now. And I think that's okay. And I do believe that it will be better eventually. It's just a really long process. And dude, of course I'm freaking getting stronger from it. You know it, dude. And mentally I'm buff. Oh, yeah. But still, it's hard for everyone. And I think that that's okay to admit, and it's okay to talk about. It's an important thing to deal with, and I'm dealing with it too, and that's okay. I was thinking about other solutions that I can do, and I think I will buy a binder. I didn't want to do one for a really long time just because I know they can be dangerous, and especially with like ribs and lungs and stuff, because I play euphonium, which is like a small tuba, so that's a wind instrument, and I have a giant like college scholarship because of that, and I really love this instrument. So if I cannot play it because of like a physical issue that happens to my ribs or lungs, I'm in a lot of trouble. But I'm also in a lot of trouble if my dysphoria gets really bad. So I think the balance of that has sort of tipped here, and I think that's okay as long as you bind safe. Dude, a couple days ago I just had my in-person visit with the surgeon for top surgery. I think I mentioned before, the Zoom visit, it went great. The in-person, it also went great. It was so chill. It was basically the exact same as the Zoom, but like so much shorter because I already had like all my questions answered via Zoom. And I, of course, had done a heck ton of research beforehand, which I definitely recommend. But even if you don't, I mean, they'll explain it very well there. But I recommend doing your own research just because it feels nice to like know everything. Super chill. Like I showed up there. It was way quicker than honestly most like doctor's visits. It was so chill. Basically all that happened was I got there, I had to change it into like one of those gown things that they make you wear, and then the surgeon came in. She was super chill, and she just explained, hey, I just need to see your chest and what it looks like now. So I took it off, and I was like fully frontal nudity, but it's just to the surgeon, who is a professional and who sees this stuff all the time, and you can get through it if it means that it's all gonna go away pretty soon. So I was totally chill with that, and literally it lasted just like 20 seconds. She was just like, all right, I just need to feel it here, I just need to see that there, that's it. Then she left the room, and then I just got back on my regular clothes, and then she was like, awesome. So that's pretty much it. What's up, gamers? It's your boy. This is my voice. 8 months on T. Have I showed you the April frog yet? I don't know. There he is, and he's vibing. Dude, what's up? I recently heard good news that my top surgery appointment just got rescheduled. It was at the end of August. Now it's at the end of July, which is really exciting. But I don't know. Look, I want to be real with you guys right now. At the moment, I don't feel super excited for it, which is weird because obviously I'm super excited for it. Like, I'm not worried for the surgery. Like, I know this is what I want. I've known this is what I've wanted ever since, like, my breast started growing. I'm like, I want that out of there 1,000,000,000%. But I think it's the fact that, like, I can't fathom what it's like without it, like without this sense of pain all the time. And in the past, I think I mentioned it before, like I've had issues with, you know, trying to schedule stuff and then it getting pushed back, or like reaching out and like not hearing back from like clinics and stuff. So I think I'm hesitant to really get excited about this because I'm really worried that it might make me disappointed again. And because I don't think anything that I've had, like, you know, scheduling T and like scheduling top surgery, like coming out, like nothing has ever gone completely well. There's always been some element of disappointment within it. And I think it's finally starting to click in my brain that, like, I don't know, I'm a little nervous. I don't know that I totally want to get super hyped for this right now. I know it's going to be great when it happens, but I don't want to like make plans at the moment, like, oh, right when I get top surgery, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to talk to this person, then I'm going to do this. Like, I don't want to get my hopes up because it just hurts so much to have it crushed again and again. And I don't know, maybe my opinions on that will change in a bit. I'll keep you guys updated, I suppose, because we still got about 3 months or so, you know. That'll be cool. Yeah, it seems so foreign, just the idea of waking up and like the first thought not to be that like this pain is continuing. Like, I have no idea what it's like to walk without it, to move without it. I don't know what it's like to sit in a chair and not have to like readjust my shirt every time, and then like that quick little glance down to be like, did I cover it right? Does it look as flat as possible? Which it never does, because how can it? But I don't know. It seems so foreign, like, to think of that as a reality. It's like if I was woke, and it's so sudden too, because like on T, yeah, it's great, it's an amazing change, I'm totally vibing with it, but it takes course over like a very long time, and the change still isn't as drastic as top surgery. That's like meat off and you're done. Like the concept of just going to sleep and then waking up and it's gone. That's like you go to sleep and you wake up and all of a sudden you're a zebra who lives on Mars, who is like the president of the United States, even though you're on Mars, and you can speak like 11 languages all of a sudden. Like, that's so completely different. I cannot fathom that at all. And that's gonna be my reality eventually, but it's still, it sounds almost fake when I say that. Like, oh, this is how it's gonna be, because it's so foreign. How the heck am I gonna be a zebra on Mars who can speak 11 languages and live in the Oval Office? That doesn't make any sense. I've never lived like that. Like, sure, maybe some zebras can pop off, like, good for them, but I never thought that I'd be able to experience that kind of happiness. I don't know what that's like, and I can't comprehend that. So I don't know, maybe I can't get excited for something that I can't comprehend. Maybe that's it. That could make sense. I don't know, but I'm feeling kind of somber right now, which is chill. We like a good chill vibe. Heck yeah. Golly jeepers, bro. I'm getting top surgery in 28 days. It still seems very unreal, and like, you know, I'm excited, but I don't, like, it still hasn't registered that it's like actually happening. Not to mention that it's like that soon that it's gonna happen. So I don't know what to think. It's still just kind of the neutral. Like, I don't want to make any big plans because, you know, I still don't want to get my hopes up or anything, because I don't want anything. Like, if it doesn't happen, I don't want to be bummed out. So just for the sake of the vibe, I'm just like, whatever. I guess it'll happen. I don't know. What's up, gamers? It's your boy. This is I'm at the summer camp that I work at right now. I'm a camp counselor. It is less than 24 hours before top surgery. It is pretty crazy. Sorry, there hasn't been an update in a while. That's because I've been bouncing all around all over the place. But to catch you up on some things, there's zit on my face. Number one, top surgery is tomorrow. That's so cool. Honestly, dude, yeah, it hasn't really clicked in like the vastness of the change that's gonna happen. Like, I know that there's something big that's gonna happen on the horizon. Like, that's definitely sunk in. I think because I'm leaving camp early, I leave in like a couple hours, and even that seems weird. Like, the vibe is off. Like, it's in the middle of the session, the kids are like, no, don't go, and I'm like, yeah, I want to say you guys are cool, but also I gotta go do this. It's cool. It's weird. It feels very surreal. It doesn't feel like I know what's going on, because obviously I have no idea what's going on. I'm not able to comprehend the feeling that I'm about to have. I don't know, but it's exciting, I guess, the thought of it. Some of it's a little bit frightening because I've never had surgery before, so just the whole, what's this gonna be, but obviously mostly it's a lot of blank space that I wish that I could fill in, because I know that this is gonna be something huge that's gonna change my life, but I don't know how it will. It's like, right before a vacation, you're like, you got all your bags packed and you're set and you're ready to go. You've done about as much research as you can on the place, and maybe you know some folks who are out there, maybe you've even been there before, but you don't really know the memories that you're about to make. You don't know the photos that you're about to take. You don't know any of that, but you just know that it's going to be a big thing. But this is bigger than that, because it's not just a vacation. It's like for the rest of my life. Like, this is huge, and I don't know. I've never done anything quite this big, quite this monumental before, and it just feels like a regular day. I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna like lead like some nature hikes, and we just came back from like just doing, I don't know, regular summer camp stuff. I'm just chilling, but it feels weird that everything's gonna change. I at least really hope it does. I really hope that it all works out. Obviously, you guys are about to find out in a couple minutes, probably, my next little segment. Hopefully, if all goes well. I don't know, but yeah, I had the video call a while ago. It's just a call that they do to call in before to double check, so they give you, so I didn't know the exact time that I was going to do the surgery until this video call. Like, I know the date, and they just say, okay, so clear your whole schedule, because it's going to be at some point during this day. So I just found out mine is going to be at 1:15, and I need to get there at 11:15 and wear like, comfy clothing. And they told me there's like a special soap that I'm supposed to shower with the night before. And my mom said that because she had a breast cancer a while ago, so it was a very similar procedure, which is cool. And she said that the soap she was really allergic to, so I'm just gonna try a little bit of that and then see how it works. And then if it's good, I'll do the rest of the shower with that, but I might use another kind of soap. If I do, I'll do an update on that. Speaking of allergies, I also have poison ivy like all on my arm. I have it pretty gnarly on my legs. Ooh, look at that. Looks like so much fun. Look at all that. Summer camp vibes, it's cool. And on the pre-op call, I asked them about that, and they were like, yeah, that's chill, don't worry about it. I mean, we'll mention it in person, obviously, but none of those things will have a big effect on it, they think, so that's very nice. And also in the pre-op call, they told me what to wear, they told me what to eat, so no vitamin supplements, or no, I think it was no ibuprofen either, like, before it for any time. I think I can eat up until midnight, and then it's just clear fluids until 10:15, which is an hour before I'm supposed to arrive at the hospital for that. And I didn't know this, I'm also not supposed to wear deodorant before that. So I smell really bad right now, but I'm gonna take a shower later, of course, and it'll be less of an issue. But that's good to know. Obviously, they'll tell you that stuff. And I also am not supposed to put medicine on my poison ivy before that, because I have like special anti-itch stuff. You're not supposed to put that on there. So yeah, that's about it. I'm excited. Ooh, it's cool. See ya. What's up, squad? It's your boy. Dude, it still feels unreal. Sorry, it was a weird transition. It's weird jumping in this. Can I turn the light back on? There, that's a little bit better. Is it? I don't know. Man, I was having a moment, dude. This is right before top surgery. We got a couple hours, man. It's tomorrow. I was just listening to music. This, the song "Kids" by MGMT. It's a little old, I'll admit, but I don't know, man. It's different. Summer nights. I just came back from like one of my best friend's birthday parties. I'm really glad I was able to make it. I wish I could have stayed longer, but that's okay because I have surgery tomorrow. So that's the reason why I had to skedaddle out of that one. Dude,
I don't know, the ride back, darn, the vibes are a little bit off now because I just pressed record and I just turned the music off. But I just tell you what, it's so wild. I'm not a crier. I never cry. And especially since I started T, like, I physically, it's like really hard. But like, yeah, I had like a small tear coming out, and I was like, I was like in hysterics. I was like, oh my gosh, because it hit me that, like, I was thinking back on like everything that I've been through. I was thinking back on, like, I remember in like 5th grade, I had like planned out, like one night I was going to like take a knife and like cut my chest off. And I remember the only reason that I didn't do that was because I was afraid that I would get caught and that I wouldn't have enough paper towels to like hide all the blood. And I remember, like, dude, that's like 8 years of like pain ever since it first started. And I just remember thinking back, like throughout middle school, like so much pain just from the simplest things, that you shouldn't have that kind of pain from just the feeling of your figure, of the way that you sit in a chair. You shouldn't have that be the reason why you don't want to talk in class, why you don't want to make friends. That shouldn't be the reason why you feel like you regret most of your childhood. It's a ridiculous amount of pain looking back. And I wish so hard that I could have gone back. I don't know. I've never liked hugs, obviously, because it feels my chest, but like, I don't know, fist bump or just like high five, like a little version of myself, and just tell them that like it's gonna be okay. Because I remember for so long I believed that it never would. I thought it was like a disease. I thought I would never be okay about myself. I thought there was no way that I would, I don't know, like really live this long and like not much less feel the kind of happiness that everyone around me seemed to feel so effortlessly. I thought that I would just have to keep like pretending to fit in or something, fail at that. I don't know what I thought, but I just thinking of where I am now, and like that I never would have gotten to that. Like, I never thought that I would be here. And like, I remember when I first scheduled it, I think you guys probably remember, like back in earlier in this video, it was like, whoa, I don't think I can make it like 6 months, like counting down. That's like, oh my gosh, there's so much pain. And it was so much pain. It was every one of those months, because I knew it was going to be, and it was. And that's okay. I just want to go back to like every single version of myself, like, ever, and just be like, it's gonna be okay. I'm so sorry for what you have to deal with. I'm sorry that I couldn't come out sooner, that I couldn't take more of a charge, that I, like, it's a mix of regret, because like every minute of every day could have been spent without so much pain, but it was. And I'm 19 now, and it shouldn't have been like that. I regret so much. But now I'm here, and I'm actually about to maybe stop regretting things. And I don't know. I never thought that I would make it like that. And I want to tell him that it's going to be okay, that he can be a man. And like, yeah, one of my best friends just sent me, like, one of my best friends from camp, and he's not trans, and he just sent me like one of the nicest letters that I've ever read. And it was like, dude, you're such an amazing man. I want to be a man like you make me feel good about myself. And I'm like, oh my God, I wish so hard that I knew someone like that, and that I could go back to like my past self and be like, you're gonna be an incredible person to so many people, and it's gonna be worth it. And you're gonna have to hold on through some of the most painful things, that you're not gonna be able to convey like this kind of pain to most of the other important people in your life. And it's gonna be so hard, and you're gonna feel so alone. But in the end, it'll be okay, and it's gonna be like crazy, man. I don't know. I was just thinking about it. Maybe it's actually sinking in now. Maybe that's what this is. Freaking a couple hours beforehand. Took me long enough, gosh dang it. But that's bonkers, dude. I never thought I'd make it. That feels really good. Well, it will. It hasn't even happened yet. It hurts the way the seatbelt is going across my chest. It hurts the way that I breathe, that I know that my chest moves like this. It hurts when I think about it, when I don't think about it, because I can't not think about it, and it gets into every other thought. And even when I'm saying that I'm happy right now, it's still there. But I'm still happy despite that, because I know it's gonna go away, like, soon. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a lot. I really hope you feel what I'm feeling. Maybe not, actually, because a lot of it is a lot of pain, and I think a lot of grieving that still probably needs to run its course. And I think I need to. I'm gonna stay in therapy. I'm gonna work through a lot of that stuff. Your boy's still on that grind, that mental health grind. But the fact that, like, the light at the end of the tunnel, maybe we're almost there. I didn't believe that there was a light for most of my life, and that's pretty cool. Alright, I should go inside now. Cool. What's up, gamers? It's your boy. This is 4 hours before top surgery. Very cool. I woke up. Dude, vibes are just chill right now. It feels like a lazy Saturday. It's a Friday, but it feels just like a chill old vibes. I was just watching some YouTube videos and just hanging out. I've started fasting. They told me don't eat anything after midnight, so your boy is fasting at top speeds. Ain't nobody can fast faster than this guy right here. We're cruising, and soon we're gonna be snoozing, and they're gonna be slicing me up, and I'm really excited for that. Dude, yeah, it's all good. I got I washed myself. They give you like a special bottle of soap that you're supposed to shower with beforehand. You can't put any on your your head or your face or your genitals, so I didn't do that, obviously. Then yeah, I woke up now and feeling great. No rash, no nothing, so that's real nice. And I'm gonna take another shower in a bit, because you're supposed to do one shower the evening before and another shower like day of, morning of. So that's cool. I'll do that in a bit. Also, what I'm gonna do today before I head out, of course, is because I'm not gonna be in my bedroom, I don't think, because I won't be able to move much. And also, I have a loft bed. That's what this is. That's what that's been for like all of these videos. And you can't really get up a ladder too well with top surgery, I imagine, because you can't really move the upper body, and I don't want to risk, like, I don't know, falling out or something. So I'm gonna move to the basement where we got like a pull-out couch. I'll show you what that's like in a bit. Pretty cool. And I can still eat clear liquids for the next hour. At 10:15 I have to stop drinking clear liquids, but then at 11:15, that's when I have to get to the surgery place. Actual surgery is at 1:15, so that's why they allot the whole day for this, because it's a whole day deal. But then I'll be back before you even know it. It'll be cool. Just you wait. Swag vibes. What's up, bro? I'm about to drop off my personal belongings, so this will be the last little video that I'm taking for you folks right before surgery. That's pretty sick. Gowned up. Check out this fit. Ayo, pretty lit. There's a crying baby in the room next to me. They're not having a great time, but I'm having a great time, so let's go. Yeah, that's it, man. I'm excited. Rock and roll. What's up, gamers? Terrible news. The surgery was postponed, hopefully not indefinitely. We don't really know, but while I was doing like the check-in and stuff, we found out that I have an irregular heartbeat, and they don't know if I would be able to wake up if I had anesthesia. So they're working on regulating that. It was a pretty long, gnarly affair. It was not a good time. I had some suicidal thoughts. So they gave me some plans to keep me safe. Circumstances are just bad. Sorry, there's a lot more information, but I'm going to keep it short because I'm really tired and I don't want to think about it. But vibes are bad. Sorry. What's up, gamers? It's your boy. This is 2 days after when I was supposed to get top surgery, and the vibes are still bad. Honestly, I just kind of feel numb. I'm just sort of depressed. For the next week or so, they're having me wear this like device thing. You can't really see it there. There it kind of is. Look at that. To monitor my heartbeat rhythm, to see if like maybe it's okay for me to go under anesthesia and do it again. But even in that case, it'd be a lot more waiting. And there's the possibility that obviously it might never be safe for me to have top surgery or any surgery. I don't know.
yeah, everything's just off. I feel like I'm still in recovery because I had planned to be doing recovery right now. Like, I'm not at camp, I'm not traveling anywhere. I'm just around, and I plan to, like, you know, be recovering. I plan to have it be like a kind of a nice, happy thing. Like, obviously I'd be chilling, but I'd be chilling like kind of victoriously, you know, like I'd be able to watch shows and friends would come over and stuff. And I just don't feel like doing anything right now. I left the house because I felt like doing something, but I don't know if this really counts. I might just go back in and just like sit there. I don't really know what to do right now. It's bad. I remember when they first told me the news that I couldn't have surgery that day, I covered my eyes and I never wanted to see daylight again. And honestly, yeah, I don't feel great being outside right now. I never used to mind the daylight, but I don't know. I feel like it's a mix of like pressure to feel good, and I don't feel good. And also, I don't know. I feel like just watching me, I just feel extra conscious. I just want to be alone in the dark. I don't know, man. I'm usually really good at planning stuff and getting things done. And my friends have been texting me, and they're super nice. Like, you know, I posted on my story what happened, and like so many people responded with such nice messages. But there really isn't anything that people can say that's gonna fix that. And obviously, I know that, and I feel like they hopefully know that. It's just nothing. I'm just gonna wait. I feel like there's more that I should say, but I don't know. I guess this is, you know, like I said, there's gonna be ups and downs. And I think this is probably the biggest down that I've ever experienced. I hope this is as bad as it gets, but I don't know how it can get better without top surgery, and like I need it soon. Yeah, it's not going well. Howdy folks, what's up? It's your boy. It is August 1st. Check it out. I know the quality's not super duper, but you can see it. Where's my finger? There. That's the moon. How about that? I think you can see my face a little bit better here. You just see the silhouette here, but you're gonna get the face for this one. Not really. It's a little foggy, but we got what we got. Yeah, I've been reflecting more. Obviously, I've been hanging out with my friends a lot. That helps. I think that helps the vibe. And it's weird. Sometimes it feels like it's like it didn't even happen. Like, I think I'm starting to repress it like so quickly. And I don't think I feel as depressed anymore, but it's still bouncing around, and it still definitely bothers me. And I'm working on rescheduling stuff because it seems like, you know, I've been monitoring my heart and stuff and doing more research, and it seems like the issue isn't that extreme, so I might be able to reschedule. I really don't want to get my hopes too high up, but I'm a little bit worried that they might be too high right now. I don't know, but if I can reschedule it, which maybe now I'm just working on finding ways so that I could get it as soon as possible, because I really don't want to have to wait like a super long time again. And just thinking of the vibe and stuff, like thinking about why this hits me so hard, you know, I guess, as I think I sort of mentioned before, I was talking about how great this all feels, like when I was driving home the night right before the surgery, when I think it was finally clicking in my brain. It was because, you know, I thought that I could, like, look back at, like, all the past versions of myself, and they'd be so proud of me, and, like, I wish that I could, like, help them out. And because I like to imagine that I'm not the guy who needs help anymore. I like to try to think that I've pulled myself up by my own bootstraps, and like I've made it. I've taken all of these obstacles and I've overcame them. Like, I've beaten the odds. And it really hurts to think that after all of the work that I've done, I still haven't done that yet, and I might not never be able to do that. Like, I usually, I'm a leader in most situations, and, you know, I'm a hardworking guy, and a lot of people, like, I don't want to sound like I'm bragging or anything, but, you know, a lot of people, they say that they look up to me, and, like, a lot of trans people especially, too, because, like, in my high school, I was pretty much, like, the first, like, out trans person, like, ever. Like, I changed the entire vibe there, so I get a lot of that, and I really do take pride in that. You know, like I said, I'm not bragging, but, like, it feels good to know that I'm making a difference and that I'm working hard and I'm achieving things through my hard work. But to think that, like, I'm back in that situation where now here I am wishing that a future version of myself, or just someone, could come and help me out, because I'm still so utterly helpless when you get down to it, and that hurts. But then, so I was sort of thinking back, like, a year ago, and I'm like, would I be proud of myself? And I think I definitely would. Like, this was before I had even started T. I think this is probably right around, oh, that was a shooting star. Well, I think you can guess what I just wished for, but I won't tell you, because I want it to come true. That was really cool, actually. But, yeah, this was probably around one of the first times where I was, like, almost about to get T, and then, like, I got jumped back, and then it happened again. And I knew that you have, at least in the state where I live in, you have to be on testosterone for 6 months before you can get top surgery. So I was already planning the top surgery and stuff, like, before I was starting T, because I knew that was one of the things. So I don't know. Well, no. If I'm being honest, I do think I would be a little bit disappointed in myself, because I definitely intended to have top surgery before the end of, like, before I graduated high school, as I think I mentioned earlier. I think I would still be proud, because I think I'm a super cool guy. I think I would love this mullet. I think it would still be a pleasant surprise. Like, if I could sit across and, like, see the little dude over there, I think it would be a mix. Because some of it, he would definitely be proud, because I've done some amazing things in the past year that I really am proud of. But it's still so hard, and I still don't think that I'm there yet where I want to be. Obviously, I'm not. And I think I'm a lot farther than I thought that I would be at this time. And I think that's okay. And I don't know, maybe you guys can learn. Maybe this is helpful. I hope that it's helpful, at least somehow. Because I want to be helpful, if nothing else, you know? I hope maybe you have a similar circumstance. Maybe someone else has, like, a weird surprise heart thing, and maybe this is a nice, like, heart to heart we're having over here. So that'd be cool, and I hope it works out for all of us in the end, because I'm sure one day there'll be a time when you look back and you'll be proud at the stuff that you've done. I don't think it'll be 100%, because, you know, life is complicated and nobody's perfect. And I think that's okay. I don't think you should have to expect to be 100% proud of everything you've ever done. And you shouldn't have to expect your past self to be like, whoa, you're my hero, because we're just humans. The idea of having heroes and having perfect people is not really accurate. I think it's good to try your best, but it's a good learning experience. I feel like a man. I think. I hope. I should shave. I'm getting too scraggly over here. We still don't know what the deal is. We're waiting the results from the heart monitor thing. Still don't know. Mental health has still been a little bit up, a little bit down. I think I've definitely noticed that, yeah, my anxiety, it feels weird. It feels like I'm shot back, like, 4 or 5 years ago. Like, I remember what it used to be like just being so uncomfortable in, like, social situations, which normally I, like, freaking rock at, and, like, I'm still pretty good,
well, no, I'm gonna be honest. I'm still very good, but I don't know. Like my charisma levels has just gone down a little bit because I just feel uncomfortable and I feel like scared because I think I'm still shook from it. And it's weird. Like I forgot what it's like to have those kind of things influence like my everyday. Because I got so used to it because I've been passing as a guy and I've been feeling so good. But then all of a sudden it hits you and it's just not there anymore. And I think it's building back, which is cool. And I think stuff that helps with that is just getting back into the regular routine. It was hard because, like, you know, for the first, like, especially the first several days, but then for the first week overall, I just didn't feel like doing anything. I mentioned that sometimes I was able to get together with friends and that felt good. But after that interaction, I was just totally wiped out. So I would just, like, sit there and, like, watch YouTube videos or something. And usually I'm a very active guy. I play a lot of music, I work out a bunch and stuff, and I just couldn't bring myself to do any of that. But in the past, like, couple days, I've been sort of getting back into the groove, because, like, don't force it. Like, if you notice that maybe getting back in the groove, like, 100% all of a sudden is, like, making it way worse and you're stressing out, don't do that. Well, hopefully you don't need this advice, because hopefully this should happen to no one else, because this is insane. But insane stuff happens sometimes, man. It's crazy. I wish I didn't have to give this advice, but chances are, I don't know, maybe someone needs it. Yeah. Try out a bunch of stuff, see what works for you. I'm still in contact with my therapist and stuff, and it's going good. I'm still hanging out with friends. That helps a lot. Dude, I just saw the Barbie movie. It's so good. Oh my gosh. That's about it.
Hey, what's up? This is almost, but not quite, but almost 3 weeks past when I was supposed to have my surgery. And we're still trying to schedule stuff, and it is still an insane mess. At this point, it's kind of feels transphobic, the way that the hospital is avoiding my calls. It's like I've spent hours for days trying to call them, and they just don't pick up, or they send me to someone else who doesn't pick up, and it's a ridiculous mess. Like, my mom has contacts in the hospital, and she's been, like, working with them and stuff, which is a huge layer of privilege, I'll admit. So I can't even imagine how insane this whole process would be without those kind of connections. Because with that, I'm back at square one still. I'm nowhere closer to where I need to be from when I was the minute I left the hospital. It's actually, like, really bad at this point. I don't really know what's going on, but I assume it's just a system thing. They're just really busy and they're bad at dealing with this stuff. But it definitely seems like they don't understand how important this is. Like, I don't know if maybe it's just because it's through the plastic surgery department, because, like, it'd be fine, sure, if you just need a BBL and you're, like, on hold until the hospital closes, and then they tell you to just call back tomorrow morning, because that happened to me. And, you know, that'd be fine, probably, if it's something that isn't necessary, but this is pretty bad. And I think, honestly, this is, like, the worst my mental health has been ever. And, yeah, I don't know how much longer I can take of this. It's bad. What's up, gamers? It's your boy. I'm at college now. It's awesome. I love it. I was gonna record this earlier, but then I forgot, and now I'm in bed, but I'm still on top of it. Oh yeah, I got it. Dude, we got good news, actually. Hopefully, we'll see. But I was able to reschedule my top surgery, and it's gonna be in 2 days. That's insane. I rescheduled it last week. It was last Friday, and we went to the doctor's office for, well, not the doctor's office, we went to the surgeon's office for what was supposed to be my post-op appointment, but they were like, okay, we'll just keep that appointment and make it a scheduling appointment, so by now we'll probably finally be able to give you a date for when the surgery is going to be. And we met with the surgeon, and she was like, well, we probably won't be able to get you in until October at the earliest. And apparently the issue was there's just not enough OR rooms to go around. Like, she has time and, like, there's availability on pretty much every other regard, but it's the issue of the OR rooms. So I don't know, I'll probably look into that to see if there's like stuff in the system that can be changed so that that isn't an issue for future trans folks, because I don't think anyone should have to go through that. But that's the deal with that. So we left that meeting thinking like, okay, well, we still don't even have a date, and it's been over a month at this point, so gosh dang, I don't know what to do. But then we were literally getting in the car right after that. We got a call from the scheduling person, and apparently she got a text from the surgeon who like really wanted to push it along. So shout out to her, fantastic surgeon, that's great. But she was like, yo, how about next Thursday? That's happening. I'm excited. It doesn't feel real, and when I think about it now, I think it's definitely like my whole perception of that happening has obviously changed a lot since, you know, kind of the disaster that was last time. Like, I'm not really allowing myself to get excited. Like, you know, I know I said before that it wasn't sinking in until like the last minute. But now I think it's not just the fact that it's unreal, it's also the fact that I'm worried that more pain might come out of it. Like, I'm not worried, obviously I'll go through with it as far as I can. Hopefully it works, I don't know. But yeah, when I think back, I guess, on just who I was like just over a month ago, right before, you know, kind of the disaster happened, I guess, I think I was a very different person. It's like very different, like it did transform who I was, but I think just in the way that I view good news, I used to be a lot more optimistic, and I still definitely am, but there's also still that worry and that disbelief, which I think in some sense is part of growing up, because, you know, it's a difficult world that we live in and everyone comes to that realization at some point. But I think it's a little bit more than that. Like, I don't know, I hope so. I hope most people don't have to go through something like that, you know. But you would think getting news like that, like, hey, you're gonna maybe feel okay in less than a week, like when that phone call came in, you would think that it would be like some tremendous huge win. I'd be like, woohoo, happy day, yippee, you know. And I was outwardly, but in the inside, it felt completely numb. I was like, okay, that's one more thing to put on the calendar, I guess. It still doesn't feel real, I guess, because I don't know. But that's okay. We'll see how it goes. What's up, gamers? It's your boy. This is the morning right before top surgery. Hopefully take 2 is a charm. I don't know. We'll see. Now I think I just kind of feel scared. I don't really feel super excited. I mean, I've mentioned I haven't really felt super excited throughout this whole process, just because I don't know. I don't really know why. Obviously, I want it 100%. But I think I'm just scared to go back in the hospital, and I really just don't like that whole environment now. I didn't used to mind it before, but I think ever since the last experience was so negative, like, bad vibes are associated with that. I don't know. Hopefully it'll go away, and maybe some fantastic vibes will be associated with it soon. But right now, I'm nervous. I feel all whack in my stomach, probably because I haven't eaten in a while and I won't be able to have breakfast, but also some of it's probably like the adrenaline and stuff, you know. I'm sweaty, which is too bad, because, well, actually, no, I can shower once more, and I'm supposed to, so that's good. Maybe it won't smell too bad, but that'll be my last shower for a while, hopefully. I don't know, but I can't wear deodorant, because you're not supposed to do that before surgery. After, sure, hopefully we get to see an after this time. I don't know, vibes are still a little bit off. It's just, howdy, we're back at it again. I still feel, I don't know, just kind of nervous, kind of nothing, but we'll see how this goes, I guess. I'm decked out. I'm about to give away my personal belongings. Hopefully next time you see me, we'll have some good news. I don't know. Yeah, nothing really has changed. This time I drank a bunch of Gatorade because I was kind of dehydrated last time. so hopefully that won't be an issue. Hopefully there won't be any big issues. We'll see, man. See you on the other side. Howdy, gamers. This is cool. This is 11:55 right after my surgery, and I don't have boobs anymore. It was a tremendous success, and I'm so happy. I'm also so high on the anesthetic that they used, but I feel amazing. It's so exciting. It was cool. I'm sure I'll fill in with more details later when I am not super high, but it was cool. I actually had 2 surgeries. I had the first one, which is top surgery, and then they, put the drains in, and happened to notice that the right side was draining a whole bunch more than they expected it to. So they put me under again, and they fixed that up because apparently something like a little vein or something should have been tied off that wasn't. No worries. He's just a little rebellious guy. I respect that. And now it's all good to go. It was amazing. It was about a whole 12-hour ordeal overall, but everyone was so nice. It was such a good time, and I really feel amazing right now. I'm so calm. I'm so relaxed. It's a beautiful world, and I'm so excited to experience it so much more. And I am spending the night at the hospital, and it's going great, honestly. I really like it here. They got me tucked in so nice and cozy. They got these cool little things around my legs they like alternate squeezing my legs, but they're like kind of warm and toasty, and it's like, ooh. And I just had some Jello. It was very nice. They come in every hour to monitor my vitals. I don't really anticipate being able to sleep, but that's just because I usually go like plenty of nights without sleeping. Like, I'm just bad at sleeping, so that should be fine. Yeah, it was cool. I still feel like no pain at all. It's amazing. I'm definitely getting my senses back. I was a little bit loopy before, but now I just feel like good vibes. There might have been something on my eyelids that they put, they say to maybe make sure that like my eyes stayed moist, they didn't open them or something, and just on the lids, you can't really see it there, but there's just a slight bit of redness, and it kind of burns a little bit, but I'm not really complaining because everything else is so wonderful and comfortable. Yeah, everyone here is so nice. It's amazing. I just found out one of the nurses who's taking care of me right now used to be in my exact dorm, like not even just the building, but like literally the same dorm. How cool is that? That is amazing. So yeah, it's like home sweet home over here. It's very nice. What's up, gamers? It's your boy. This is roughly about a day, I think, post-op. It's going good. It's cool. You can see I got the compression binder on right now. There's so many pads in it, almost looks like I still got boobs or something, which is kind of funny, but I can promise you none of that's actually there. I was on fentanyl, which was what they gave me. That's why I was loopy. Maybe I'll put in some of the videos of that. Videoing Big C. I'm higher than the International Space Station right now. It's amazing. You should be jealous. This is very fun. I have crackers. And water. And I had some. And it's still in me. Which is good. Because I don't want to throw up. Moving it. This is fun. I like surgery. Because that was pretty entertaining. They prescribed me some like Oxycontin, which I don't want to take because that's like an opioid. So I'm mostly going on Tylenol and ibuprofen right now. So I set alarms tonight. I'm going to wake up. It's 9 p.m. right now. I just took ibuprofen. I also need to wake up at midnight, 4 a.m., 2 a.m., 8 a.m., and 7 a.m. I didn't sleep last night. I think it's fair to assume I won't be sleeping tonight either. But yeah, drains are going good, emptying them. Yeah, it hurts, but you know, I don't mind it long term. It's gonna be sick. It mostly I just feel tired right now, but that's chill. It's gonna be real cool real soon, and I'm very excited for that. One day since top surgery, check out this this awesome sunset right behind me. Can you see that? You can kind of see that. That's beautiful. Let's keep it at that view because it's so gosh dang nice. It's wild, man. It's cool. I was able to hike down the driveway for this, of course. I'm pretty proud of that, considering that a little bit ago I had like knives in me and stuff or whatever the surgery is, and they were taking chunks out of me. So that's pretty sick. Yeah, honestly, it's ridiculous how chill everything is. Like, while I was walking, I don't know, while I walk anywhere, I feel like I'm kind of hunched over, just because of where, like, the scars are. Not because of where the cars are, because of where the scars are. Yeah, and the position of the drains and stuff is just a little bit wonky. It's wild how chill it is. I mean, yeah, I've been popping the Tylenol and the ibuprofen, but honestly, not, like, that much. Like, I just did my first Tylenol of the day. I had ibuprofen, like, a few hours ago. I don't know, but honestly, it's not that bad. Mostly, it's just bad occasionally if I, like, move weirdly or something. Or, like, sometimes I think draining the drains is the most painful part because you occasionally, like, tug on them a little bit, and that hurts for good reason. But honestly, it's pretty chill. And, yeah, it's weird. It doesn't feel real at all. I guess part of that is because I can't really move around and I can't really experience this. And, like, it does still feel like I have, like, freaking boobs or whatever, just because I'm wearing this binder. I don't know if you can see from here, but it looks like this is like freaking boobs or whatever. It's not. Like, I've checked a bajillion times, and it's just padding that they put in there because, you know, I was bleeding and they kept me open like a couple of days ago. You know, you keep up with the stories, but it's weird. It doesn't feel like it just happened. I think, you know, I've gone through like so much as people denying me the opportunity to get it, and like, it's happening, it's not happening. It definitely has not clicked that it's actually happened. I don't know when it will. There's like a special trans swimming event that's going on at my college at the end of September, which I'd like to attend, and hopefully I can take my shirt off and feel like maybe it'll click then, if not sooner. But yeah, I don't know. It feels good. Yeah, honestly, it's crazy. I'm just moving around. I'm just hanging out. It's just a regular lazy Saturday. The pain is weird. Like, usually it's fine, but then if I breathe slightly weird, it just, like, explodes. Like, I was playing harmonica for the first time since surgery, like, a couple minutes ago, and it, like, I breathed wrong or something, and it was bad. So, don't play harmonica, I guess. That's a bummer. Sorry, I guess I'm kind of still recovering from that. But, yeah, I took a shower for the first time. For the first time since surgery. I've taken a shower before, don't you worry. It was difficult and very painful, because pretty much anytime you, like, tap the drains in like, the big tubing associated with that and the slightest, it hurts a good deal of a bunch. So it wasn't a very thorough shower, but it kind of got the job done, I guess. Yeah, it was sick. I think it was cool. I put they had like special stuff to cover my nipples with, because you're not supposed to get those wet, but everything else you can get wet. And there was like just a little bit of gauze that they had around right where my stitches were, and they said that I could remove that. So that was cool. That was actually kind of like the first time that I've really like seen my chest in full, pretty much, because like I took off this binder that they had maybe wearing all the padding and stuff, and I was like, whoa, this is kind of sick. I'll probably throw an image up there of that. Oh, sick. Check it out. It's your boy, full 360. You know I got that EKG. Oh, boy. It's interesting. I thought that maybe that would be like the moment that it clicked, because I've never really looked at myself shirtless and been like, whoa, that looks like a guy. And like, it definitely looks like a guy. It's like, whoa, like this works. But I think it didn't really click because I've just never felt a connection to my shirtless self before. So it was just sort of more of that. I mean, like, if I could have felt connected to it, it probably would have had a deeper meaning. So I was kind of surprised. I didn't expect that. That was kind of interesting. So I don't know when it's going to click. Yeah, it's been going chill. Sleeping is hard just because I really don't like sleeping on my back, and I have to do that. That's been a bummer, but I'm chilling mostly, honestly. It's cool. Quick updates. One thing I noticed that I did not expect and that I didn't hear about before was that, I don't know, after surgery, I felt like my heart, I know for a fact that it was beating way more than it used to, like way faster, like a whole bunch more. I know that I have like some weird condition where I have like an irregular heartbeat. Like, you know, most people, it's like a consistent rhythm. Mine is like boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom. It's like a kid who's just learning how to play the drums. It ain't quite right there, but this has been like just really fast. Like we're talking like a rodent's heartbeat, like boom, 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 like all the time. And especially, I've noticed that it's been a lot harder to do like simple cardio, like I call it cardio, just like going on a walk. Like I'm just at the end of my driveway right now, and yeah, I got a long driveway, but that obviously used to be like easy breezy, but I was like completely out of breath like the first couple times I went down it, like the first couple days. Now it's like a lot better. It's still not completely where it's at, but it's improving a lot since surgery, so that's a good sign. I don't know what that's about. I hadn't heard anything about that before, but I guess maybe you're aware of that. Maybe that's just a me thing because I'm a special little guy. But the other thing that's really nice is dude, today, it was a great day. I finished watching BoJack Horseman. I binged the entire show, all 6 seasons, in the last couple days. Oh my gosh, it's so good. I recommend it a bajillion times. It's phenomenal. Gosh dang, it's so good. But it was also nice. I took some time while I was like working as a counselor at camp. I wrote like a journal every day, and I remember I had planned out, I was like, all right, I'm not gonna read this journal until I'm recovering from top surgery, and then I'll have all these fun stories and all these fun memories to look back on. And I also wrote things like, you know, hopes that I had for myself, for like predictions for like what it would be like with top surgery. And it just felt really good to like actually live that experience. Like I've kind of been planning for like this recovery for so long. Like one of my friends recommended that I watch BoJack Horseman like a year ago, and I was like, all right, that's 6 seasons, that's a lot of time. I'm gonna finally be able to do it probably when I recover. So I'm like, I'm gonna do that. And then I got this journal, and like I planned out, all right, I'm gonna sleep in my parents' basement because I have a loft bed and I won't be able to access my room. But I was like excited for it. I was like, this is how it's gonna be. And there was like a moment today where it was like, wow, I'm really doing it. So I think it's starting to settle in a little bit. Maybe not necessarily the top surgery aspect of it, but definitely the aspect of something that I've been planning for a really long time is finally happening, and it feels really good. And that feels really good. Howdy folks, today I'm going to be showing you how to empty my drains. Now this is, I want to say, about 5 days or so after top surgery. So immediately after, I had a good bit more drainage than this. So, but this is still a pretty good amount. Oh, it's a good demo amount, we'll see. So the first step is with any medical procedure, wash those hands, bro. Awesome, there we go. Now I got a whole bunch of alcohol wipes here, and a tiny little container, both of which were provided by the surgeon, and that's pretty much all that we're gonna use. Well, that and the drains, and my hands, and this phone for recording purposes. Now, the first step is, you see I got this tubing with all my blood. How cool is that? We wanna get, I guess you could probably do this with like most of the tubing. Honestly, I only do this with the end a little bit just because I don't like to do it, because if you have drains, you will learn very quickly that kind of anytime you touch it slightly in the wrong way, it hurts. So I minimize touching it as much as possible, but what I'm doing right now is I'm sort of pushing it to try to get as much of this stuff here. Can you sort of see it from there? Sure you can. I don't know if you can or not, but I'm trying to get as much of this blood and all this cool, funky cranberry juice looking gunk from here into there. So I just sort of pinch one end so that way I'm not tugging it directly out of my body, hence the pain. And then with the other hand, I just sort of slide it down, pushing hard to try to get as much of it in there as possible. And you can sort of see a little stream going down the side, inside of that drain there. It is working pretty well. And also I'm not in excruciating pain, so that aspect of it is working pretty well too. And that's about enough of that, because that's all I want to do out of that. Next, when you actually open the drain, it's cool, you actually use one of these little guys, an alcohol wipe, to actually do that. So first, I got the opening of the drain over here. I'm just gonna wash that off a little bit with the tip of that, and then I will pop it open. Beautiful, majestic. I'll clean the tippy top off of that a little bit more. We're now done with that. Make sure to keep holding on to that drain, because if you drop it, it will hurt. But not that much, because I never took the little pin off. You can take it off if you want. I don't like to, because then there's a risk of it hurting a whole bunch. Now I see I've just got that little plastic container, and I just sort of squirt the stuff right in there. How about that? Can you see what I'm doing? I'm doing my tippy toes. Look at that. Pretty much get as much as you can. This is a pretty good amount. And it looks kind of bloody, kind of clear. There's a mix of, I don't really know all the delicious bodily fluids I got in there, but it's a good bit. And then we have to record the color of the stuff in there. That looks pretty red, pretty blood-like, but it's a little bit clear. It's not quite blood consistency. I don't know. Oh yeah, how about that? You can kind of see. And the amount of it, and the time that I took it out, and also which drain it is. Awesome. Now to close it up, before we close it, we gotta remember to squeeze it real good, so that way it like keeps the pressure, so it keeps sucking in all those good juices that I still got in there. And we close it once again using the alcohol wipes, of which I have plenty, which is cool. So make sure I clean off the outside first real well. I got a good little bit of spillage on there. We want to make sure that we clean off all that blood. We don't want no infections around here. Get all that good stuff. We don't want none of that getting away. Look at that. Look at all of that. Isn't that nice? And once that's nice all clean, you can pop that back on there and throw that away. And that's how you do it. And now I'm just going to do the exact same procedure on this one over here, and that's pretty much it. Oh, and for disposing of this blood, I'm just going to put it in the toilet over here. Is that off screen? Yes, it is. You can picture that. There's no glamour in that shot, really. And I cleaned it off. Water. And that right there, folks, is pretty much all there is to it. Exactly 1 week post-op, I was finally able to take my drains out, and that was really nice. It was cool. There's a bunch of videos on YouTube you can Google to like see how that procedure goes, pretty much. But I was expecting it to be, I don't know, kind of more painful, because they pulled out like a foot of drain from me. But dude, it was chill. I think they just pulled it out. They had me like inhale, and then as I was exhaling, they pulled the drain out, and that was fine, honestly. I think the most painful part of that process was taking off the nipple grafts, which I think you saw. Those were like little orange, or excuse me, those were like little yellow chunks that were like stitched onto my nipples, and some of it had sort of scabbed over, so it was like peeling off the scabs. That was gnarly, and my nipples looked like zombie nipples after that. It looked wild. I might throw a photo on there if I have one. But now, honestly, it feels great. I mean, if I move in the wrong way, yeah, there's still pain. I still can't lift my elbows above my shoulders, and there's other mobility restrictions. But honestly, just chilling, like, no problem at all. I'm not even on ibuprofen or anything anymore. I haven't been on that for days now, and totally chill. Where the drains were, there's just like little holes in the side of my chest now. There's still like some leaking of just some sort of yellow see-through fluids, which I think is normal. It's not like a lot, but it's enough to go through the binder that I still have to wear until a month post-op. And the shirt that I'm wearing, I'm just wearing like a friggin' muscle shirt, like a wife beater kind of thing right now. But it's leaking through both of those. It's not like a lot. I don't think it's anything to be concerned about. Also, just something that I like that I've sort of been looking forward to for a while is I purchased this cool little rock. I think it symbolizes something or is supposed to have meaning. I don't know what it is. I just think it's a cool rock, and it's like a necklace. And I used to not like wearing it because obviously you can see like where it is on my chest. It would push down in the middle and exaggerate my friggin' boobs or whatever. But now I'm really happy that I can just wear that. And I think that this is a sick fit that I've wanted to do for a while, so it fits nice. I still don't like that I have to wear the binder, of course, because it adds to the puffiness, which is weird because usually a binder back in the old days, it would get rid of that. But now this binder, it makes it just a little bit more puffy. Not like puffy like feminine, but just sort of like a shadow of what it once was. Like, I think I only find it uncomfortable because of the past that I had. Like, I think if a cis man were to wear it, they'd be like, okay, whatever. But because of how I'm trained to view myself, it messes with me a little bit. But overall, it's still nice. One thing that I have been kind of surprised about, though, is I thought, you see so many videos on YouTube of people, the minute they get their top surgery, they see themselves in the mirror and they're like crying. It's like this beautiful moment of like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. It still hasn't really clicked with me yet. There have been numerous moments where I look in the mirror and say like, hey, that looks pretty good. And, at this point I have been trying on like different shirts and stuff. And I have even taken the binder off and just tried shirts without that so the binder doesn't get in the way. And it still doesn't have that extreme wow factor. And maybe it just hasn't clicked, but maybe that's just how it's going to be for me. And I think that's okay because what it is really, it's a loss of pain. Then that doesn't necessarily equal extreme joy. It's just less bad things. So for some people that can mean really good things. But I don't know, I haven't had a super big explosion of like gender euphoria yet, but also it's only been a matter of days. And less dysphoria is plenty good by me, so I'll take it, man. What's up, gamers? How's it going? This is pretty sick. This is what my chest looks like almost 2 weeks post-op. And you can see I was talking about a zombie nipple. That's kind of cool. You can sort of see it from there. This one looks almost normal. You can see there's a little bit of pinkish. This one, there's a lot of black. Not too much black. I don't think it's enough for it to be a problem yet. I don't know. We'll see. But right now, it's like all black, and you can sort of see that. Anyhow, what I'm going to show you today is how you take care of the nipples, basically, for the next 3 weeks once you have the nipple grafts themselves off. So it's pretty straightforward, and I don't mind it too much, which is pleasant. I look forward to when I don't have to do it, but I don't really mind doing it. So what I'm doing right now, I'm just grabbing some gauze, and they'll give you all these supplies at the doctor's office. You don't need to go out and purchase it on your own, which is very nice. Fold it into a little square like so, and they gave me these cool little Vaseline pads, sort of. They're just soaked in Vaseline. It's cool. They come off in this big sheet. These are just pre-cut tiny little pieces, and I thought that it would like hurt to take them off, like what normally does, taking off a band-aid as the cut and it like rips off part of the scab. But I don't know. I really don't notice too much pain with that. This is just medical tape or whatever it's called, something like that. Cut off about that much. And doing this right after I took a shower. That's the only time where you're supposed to take these off. But you can't take them off in the shower. You can shower pretty much normal. I mean, your movement is going to be restricted to some extent for obvious reasons. But overall, it's pretty chill. So you see, I put the Vaseline pad right there. That's going to be touching my nipple directly. And you take the dog hair off because that's not supposed to be there. And then that side there. And then the gauze facing outward. You just put it on there. And you just tape it right over that zombie nipple just like that. And this is good tape too. It really doesn't hurt that much coming off. I mean, of course it hurts a bit. Like, no one likes ripping tape off themselves. But honestly, it's not that bad. It's pretty chill. So then I just got another square of the gauze right there. Epic bars. Slay. And another big old piece of tape. Perfect. Beautiful. And you put the Vaseline there. The Vaseline goes on the nipple. The gauze is just, I guess, help it hold it up. But none holds it up quite like this wonderful, wonderful tape. Doing a pretty good job. Would you look at that? I'm a professional. Incredible. Beautiful. Just like that. And then for the next 3 weeks post-op, you're still supposed to wear this compression binder. I don't like it, but that's fine. And it hurts a little bit, so they gave me some of these nice pads that I can put it makes my chest look a little bit bigger, but really it's not noticeable to a large enough extent, and honestly, the clips just hurt, so that's pretty much that. And, pop a shirt over that, and pop another shirt over that, and that's pretty much it. See you. About 3 weeks post-op surgery, so that's pretty cool. I'll start with some other news. I'm at college right now. It's going fantastic. My scars themselves, the scabs are totally gone, so it's just scar now. That's great, except for like one tiny place where there's one scab, but I don't think he'll be there for too long. And I still am not supposed to lift my elbows higher than my head, and I still also can't lift more than 5 pounds. I don't really know how much 5 pounds is, but I just figure I lift things, and if it starts to hurt, I put them back down very quickly and ask for help, and it works. But I've noticed sometimes I accidentally end up like lifting my elbows above my head, and it feels okay, and I think that might be because the scabs have like healed, so pretty soon it'll probably be good. I have my next post-op appointment exactly a month from when the top surgery was, and by then I'll meet with the surgeon, and I think I'll probably be able to start getting back into regular movements at that point. The one thing that is a little bit gnarly though is my nipples still haven't healed. Now, I hear that's supposed to take a little bit longer, I think, but they're like very much still scabs. Like nothing has changed that much in the last 3 weeks, which I'm a little bit concerned about. I don't know, we'll figure out more later. It's not like they hurt or anything. Well, they do if you like touch them or whatever. It feels fine. I don't think it's like infected or anything, but it's just a little, it's weird. And also some of the stitches are still in there, which apparently is normal. They usually do that. I didn't know that though. There's multiple different kinds of, I don't know, freaking like a rope or string or whatever that they use for the stitches. The black stuff that held the nipple grafts on themselves, they took all of that out on the 1 week post-op appointment, that last one, where they also took my drains out and everything out. But the ones that I still have right now, it sort of looks like fishing line, and it's just on the nipples, it's nowhere else. And it's kind of weird, they're just the jagged little things. Golly, there's probably like about a dozen or so on each nipple. It's kind of weird. And again, it doesn't hurt, but it's definitely like, they're gonna get those out. It's just weird. And I think they are gonna get those out at the next appointment. It's very helpful. I can talk to my mom because she had breast cancer, so she also had like a mastectomy. She said that she also had those little bits of like fishing line for the next month after, and then they took them out, and she said it did hurt taking them out, as you would imagine, just like a little pinch, but it's jump. And speaking of things hurting, it is kind of wild, the fact that, like, you know, I just don't have the sensation, like, around there. Like, I can't feel things. It just isn't there. And it's only around some places. Like, I can, like, move my hand down. Like, right now I can feel it. Right now I can feel it. Right now I can... Okay, so that's a bad example, so I could feel it the whole way down. But, like, some areas, like... Was it? Yeah. Like, I can't feel this. It's weird. About 2 months post-op, I like college, man. I've said that a jillion times before, but it's pretty sweet. As far as top surgery goes, going great. Feels good, man. Yeah, I've heard people say that, like, their scars have, like, hurt after a while. I've been doing pretty much exactly what the doctor told me with the massaging and, like, with putting lotion on them. And there's really been no problems with pain associated with that. I don't know. I'm just built different. Or, like, other people talk about weird sensation of nerves starting to reconnect in those areas. I haven't really experienced that either. In some places, it is kind of numb, but it's not, like, as crazy, like, a stark contrast of numbness as I thought that it would be. Like, if you can feel, like, oh, this feels like chest, and then down here, it's like, whoa, that feels like I'm touching a pencil or something. I can't feel anything at all. I mean, you can, like, kind of feel it, but, like, it's like your arm fell asleep. It's, like, there's a little, but, like, I don't know. And I think maybe that's going away. I don't know. I don't pay that much attention to it because it just looks good. And also, like, you know, I walk around shirtless in, like, my dorm a bunch and stuff because I can now. And at first I was a little nervous, like, what if people, like, realize that I'm trans? But I'm like, whatever, I'll still do it. And either they don't react at all or they just don't know, because most people who aren't trans don't know exactly what, like, top surgery scars look like. Like, they probably just think I had some kind of chest operation, which technically I did. So, I don't know. And they don't really ask questions. It's chill. So, that's all good. And also, yeah, I've been working out a bunch, doing a bunch of cardio, and I definitely put on, like, a bit of weight. Like, I knew I was gonna, and I did, like, right after surgery, because I usually work out fairly consistently, and I just wasn't, and I didn't really change how much I ate. So, like, yeah, I got, like, a little gut. It's not much. Like, I still look very good, of course. And, you know, I've been doing extra cardio and stuff because I'm trying to kind of lose that weight. It's just, I don't know, I want to look a certain way, and that's okay. And I think it's working. It's a very long process, of course, but I'm in it, and that feels good. As far as gaining muscle mass, that's also a long process, but it's also going good. It is definitely intimidating going to the gym. First of all, I've never been to a gym before, but I go to the gym now, and it's cool. And yeah, oh my gosh, like, there's so many just crazy buff guys there, and I was like, okay, I'll lift the weights. I feel like the first time I was like, I don't really belong here. I don't know what I'm doing, but I stuck with it. And now I feel like, yeah, sure, whatever, I can just walk in there, which is nice. You definitely build up the confidence with that, and build up the muscle with that confidence. So that's pretty cool, man. Howdy, folks. This is 4 months post-top surgery, and it's going good. I still never really had a big moment where, like I mentioned before, like it all hit me at once and was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Like the happy tears or any of that. 4 months down line, it didn't happen. It's not gonna happen. And I think that's chill. Because sort of with that, I think it's because I had just become so disconnected from my body, like looking in the mirror. Like now, it's nice because rather than seeing just some lady, it's just some dude. And it still hasn't really clicked it like, that's me. Like, I'm okay now because, like, it's a guy. We're good. So I'm still working through that. And something that has helped a lot in that, like way more than I thought it would, is getting tattoos. Dude, it's so cool because, like, you know, before it was just some dude, but now all of a sudden I got this custom little art that I created and I put on there, and now I am the dude. I currently have 2 tattoos. I'm definitely going to get like a bunch more. I have a little teacup that I have on my thigh right by where I do the tee shot. So that's a little pun. That's cool. And then I also have a euphonium right on my ankle here. That's the instrument I play. That's pretty cool. And it just really helps with connecting to my body, which is something that I can do now. I spent 19 years like trying to disconnect from it, and all of a sudden I'm looking good. I'm like, hey, we'll connect. That's cool. As far as the clothing goes that I've been able to wear, that's been real cool. As you can see right now, I still got my Hawaiian shirts. I still like doing that. But I remember I talked about before, I like to have like very, very specific about the undershirt that I would have to try to hide my chest. It would have to be cotton. It would have to be dark. It would have to have a specific shape and specific color. The design that I had on front and all that stuff. Now, that doesn't matter. I really like to wear stuff that isn't like that. I've been getting super into muscle shirts. Like, check it out. I look good, man. It's cool. And for the first time a couple days ago, I was wearing a t-shirt without a Hawaiian shirt over it. And I was a little bit worried because I thought that at this point what the Hawaiian shirt does mostly is it hides my hip dysphoria. And I thought that, you know, just wearing a regular t-shirt that would come back and be gnarly. But honestly, I was very pleasantly surprised. Yeah, it's not great, but it doesn't look like super in-your-face feminine. It's just like, maybe he's a dude who's just a little bit curvy, but like, it's not that bad at all. And at this point, with how much tea I've been taking too, over time, that fat distribution is just going to get better and better, and that's just going to be less and less of a problem, which I'm very excited for. Here's sort of what my chest looks like to give you an idea. And the muscle growth, that is really starting to work a little bit. It doesn't look hugely different, but it feels real good. So as you can see, yeah, this is the scars. That's all healed. It is starting to do some stretching, which I really don't mind, honestly. I think if I really cared about it a lot and if I really wanted to, I could have like massaged it more and put on more lotion, because I did that about half as much as the doctors recommended, because I don't really care about stretching. Honestly, I think the scars look super badass. Like, I want them there, so it's like, that's fine. And the nipples, too, you can see they actually look pretty much like nipples. There's, like, some weird bumps in there that is a little bit funky, but it's nothing like those zombie nipples that you saw before. Like, this is chill. I can work with this. And it does still hurt if I touch it. It's a little bit weird. It hurts the way, I feel like if your arm fell asleep and if you had a cut on your arm and if you were like touching the cut while it was asleep, because it's like, it's still kind of numb, you know, but it also kind of hurts. But it's not that bad at all. Like, it has not gotten in the way of working out or any other activities that I do. It's pretty much just if I tap it very deliberately and kind of strongly, it just hurts like a little bit. not bad at all, honestly. With the scabs for the nipples, it took about 2 months for all of those scabs to finally heal. Because most of it was healed within the first month, but there were just like a couple little spots here and there that took an additional full-on month. But that's chill. Take your time, bro. I've definitely gotten to the point where I can pass like 100% as a guy pretty much wherever I go. It's super chill. And again, I feel like you'd think that this would be like a huge, big moment where it'd be like, whoa, this is amazing. But honestly, it just feels normal. It feels like this is just how it's supposed to be. And it's like, all right, we're finally here. Chill. Howdy. This is cool. It's been an amazing year. Like, I don't even really think about it much anymore. Like, dysphoria is almost gone. Like, actually, genuinely almost gone, which is insane. You know, there's times when it comes up, like, looking at photos of my full body, I'd say a good 50% of the time I delete the photo still because of my hips. But I don't think about it unless I'm looking at a photo of myself or I'm looking at myself in the mirror. The fear isn't there unless I'm faced with it, which is different from the way chest dysphoria is always constantly there. I guess probably because that's the way the eyes are positioned in the head, you know. You're always periphery, always going to catch that, but you're just generally less aware of the hip stuff. And, you know, sometimes when I'm jogging with my shirt off, which I do frequently now, not to flex, it's cool, but, you know, I see my shadow and I'm like, it's a bummer. But I honestly can't complain about that. Like, the biggest, like, that's not even the biggest thing that I think about at this point in terms of body image issues. I think the biggest thing is just, like, I say losing weight, but at this point I lost a bunch of weight over the summer already. I'm feeling really good about myself. Like, I look good, man. I'm not gonna lie. You can't really see it from here, but, like, I'm in good shape, dude. And it wasn't like I wasn't before. I just had, like, a few extra pounds that I'd accumulated eating delicious food in college and then working at the summer camp. That pretty much got rid of that, so I'm feeling really good about that. And that's pretty much the biggest thing that I think of, you know, losing weight and probably acne. Those are the biggest things that I think about in my body, which is crazy because that means that I'm just a normal 20-year-old at that point. I'm 20 now, which is crazy, but, like, it's wild that this is the level of comfort that, like, everyone else feels in their body. And it's weird still to think of everything that I had to do to get to this point so that I could just feel like everyone else. But it's nice. I think I've reached a point in my life where I can genuinely be proud of being trans. Like, I don't hide my scars. I've never felt really embarrassed by them at all. I was looking back at the video that I took of last year, point of reflection, you know, looking back. And I feel a lot more disconnected than I expected to the guy I was in those videos. I mean, there's the obvious change, like, my life is exponentially better. But I also think that, you know, as time passed, before, I guess, I would always feel less connected to my past self, and I assumed to a large extent that was just because I was trying to disconnect from a woman before, pretty much, and I assumed that it wouldn't be like that for looking back at a past version of myself being a man and feeling more like a man. And I guess still I don't have a very large percentage of my life where I've genuinely felt that I was a man. And part of that just might be growing up too. Maybe that's the way men feel too. Maybe that's the way everyone feels. Is honestly, I think about a year or so is that's the amount of looking back where I can feel genuinely connected to that. And then at a point, I look at photos and I forget that some of them are taken, and I look at them and I don't know, the connection is just lost. It only lasts so long. And it's wild that this little video series has lasted at this point so much longer than that. And it's gone to a lot of feelings that I didn't think that I would feel, and a lot of thoughts and a lot of wild stuff, you know. And it's gotten to a point where I forget to make these videos. And that reminds me again of the question that I thought to myself. How would, like, a younger version of myself, or even myself from last year, think about where I am now? And once again, the first thing that comes to mind is pride. Because I am doing good, I'm not gonna lie, I'll look good, I feel good. I do think there was also some level of disappointment. I don't think I'm exactly where I wanted to be. I do feel in the back of my mind like there's more that I could be doing at this point to support the trans community. Like, ever since I sort of went off into college, I went stealth, which was amazing. I don't regret that decision at all. I think I really needed to do that for myself, and it felt really good. But I think I'm at a point now where I wouldn't say I've healed yet, but I think that I need to give back to the community more. But yeah, I thought that I would be further along in my nonprofit than I am now, and that's okay, because I can get that together. I'm sure I will, but, it was during camp. I was just chilling some of my off time. I think I watched a Curtis Connor video, and I just finished the video, and I turned my phone off, and the chef behind me was cooking up some good food, so it was smelling real nice. I think it was some kind of an Italian dish, as he was playing Italian opera music. And it must have been Pavarotti or something, because it was really beautiful and passionate. And it occurred to me, I think that was my first realization of the full 1 year mark since I got top surgery. But back then it was more the 1 year mark of when I was supposed to get top surgery, because the whole month of August was all of that. I really forgot how disconnected I had made myself from that past version of myself who'd been in that situation. Like, how much I tried to pull myself away from all that pain that I felt, and like how much I repressed that memory and that whole being of myself that was just filled with those memories and that pain. And it's crazy that I forgot that that's who I was. But in that moment, I felt so connected all of a sudden. I don't know, a deep, passionate, Italian opera. It's just this deep humanity calling me back or something. I don't know, that's crazy. But yeah, I was crying like tears of joy, which was really nice. And I think that's the first time that that's happened since top surgery. Because, I probably mentioned it before, but people always talk about having like the big moment, like right after surgery, they look in the mirror and they cry and they see themselves in a new light, and it's huge and everything. And I never had that big moment, and I still wouldn't call that big moment, but I think that might be my version of it. Like, and still just the phrase, "it's gonna be okay," that really hits really deep when I think about it. Because I know part of me still is that little kid who didn't know that it was going to be okay. And a lot of that probably is synonymous with growing up, with any man becoming a man, with any person becoming whatever kind of person you want to be when you no longer become a kid and all. Like, there's the aspect of, there's the kind of body issues that are normal to deal with, and there's all sorts of other things that everyone is afraid of throughout growing up. That feeling of disconnection may or may not be normal. I'm not sure. I should talk to my therapist about that. But maybe it is normal. For a lot of folks, it probably is. And I've gotten to the point in my life where there is that sense of a blurred line, where I'm not sure if the way that I feel is because I'm trans or just because I'm a person. And that's a huge thing that, I don't know, I never really considered I would feel that way before, because I never really thought that I would feel anything above being trans. That was such a barrier to feeling anything else. I never knew really that I could feel this much like a normal person, I think, and that stuff will be okay. Because I think a lot of kids are afraid of that, and that's totally normal growing up. But a lot of trans kids especially, they know deep down that a lot of times things aren't all okay, and I really just got lucky that things are okay. But yeah, I didn't know that things were going to be okay. I was pretty much positive that they weren't. especially this time last year when I wanted to kill myself. I don't really know how I would have pictured where I wanted to be next year. I didn't. That's the whole thing. I couldn't picture a future anymore. So I don't know if I could, like, if I could see the guy who was sitting in the pavement almost exactly a year ago, how would I tell him things are okay?